Namaste and good evening to everybody. On behalf of the Indian section, a very warm welcome to all of you for today's session of the Mahatma letters to AP Sinnet. We have began the study of chronological letter number 137 to 145. And this study is being directed by Brother N.C. Krishna, who is the international speaker of the Theosophical Society and the national speaker of the Indian section. So we will continue this study beginning with our universal invocation. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you. I welcome Brother Krishna ji to today's session and request him to start his presentation.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you. Because this, I'm going by the numbers of the letter as given by the Barker edition, which is the book I have. So letter number 141, I have covered a small portion of that. And last week, I'm covering it again for the sake of those who perhaps have missed it last time, or for the sake of continuity for myself. This letter is in the handwriting of Madam Blavatsky. She is addressing this letter to Mr. Sinnet. And HBB, we are told, is at Wurzburg, Germany, to write the secret doctrine. The letter, in a way, is a continuation of the letter number 140. So she's asking Mr. Sinnet, do whatever you like or can. She says, I'm in your hands, suggesting that only Mr. Sinnet can help at this particular juncture. She says that she is not to be called Madam Metrovich, and nothing wrong would happen if the lawyers have been told that she is not Metrovich. And this is a story planted by Mrs. Coulomb, and that HBB got married to one Mr. Agadi Metrovich, a revolutionary from Russia or of Hungarian origin. Only HBB knows that she is not Madam Metrovich. And you are telling the lawyer, she is telling Mr. Sinnet, you are telling the lawyer, the truth will put an end to this story and will stop them from addressing letters with that name to my address. This is actually defaming me, says Madam Blavatsky. This is a clear case of libel, which is suable in a court of law. And they have spread this story far and wide, says Madam Blavatsky, and painted me as a person who got married twice or even thrice. Whereas the fact is that she got married only once. And she uses the word bibiche, which is perhaps a slang of the French language or language from France. And she says, anything is possible, that these people may connect me to anybody and everybody. And this false propaganda has to be refuted, ended, she says. HPB having said that she doesn't change names, HPB having said that she doesn't change names, she is dissuading Mr. AP Sinnet not to travel all the way to Germany. And the HPB also says she doesn't care for any letters which will come to her. But she has given the address of Mr. Sinnet to her aunt and sister in case they want to write some letters. So this is what she has told Mr. Sinnet to begin with. HPB says the Russian papers have called her the martyr of England. Mr. Gladstone, who is the Prime Minister, he will receive a document from a prince. He is sending an official document declaring HPB's identity. Either it will come to Lord Ripon or to Mr. Gladstone directly. But Mr. Gladstone, being a Roman Catholic convert, she is not very hopeful that he would take the certificate also in right earnest. She says the country England is seeking the destruction of the Theosophical Society. This is what she is telling Mr. Sinnet. HPB is saying the French and German branches of TS are almost dead. This is what she has to say to Mr. Sinnet. HPB is saying that French and German branches of the Theosophical Society are almost dead. Since you are alive and living, you cannot allow English London Lodge to die. Just 3 of you can breathe life into London Lodge. So 3 members, if there are there, they can breathe life into the London Lodge. This is what she says. In America and in India, the Theosophical Society is working well. Madam Blavatsky says the Dukpa world is trying to destroy the Theosophical Society by spreading and beating the society with false allegations so that the society should break. HPB is asking Sinnet to use his intuition. HPB is asking Mr. Sinnet to use his intuition and not go by what he thinks in his head, and recognize the solid subjective help that is there for him and feel for that help and receive that help. HPB says it does show the indestructibility of the Theosophical Society. This is what she is telling Mr. Sinnet. It's impossible. Indestructible or destroying the society is not possible. HPB is asking Sinnet whether he is suspecting that the masters would put an end to the movement of tears. She is asking him whether you also think that the masters are thinking in terms of putting an end to the Theosophical Society. HPB says what the masters are trying to do, you're not able to see. So she says, you're not able to see what masters are actually doing. So HPB says the presidents of branches and the founders of the TS should keep in their view. HPB is saying presidents of branches means lodges, and the founders of the Theosophical Society should keep in their view not so much about the quantity of members, not the numbers, not the quantity of members. We are in need of quality of members to make this society successful and avoid disasters. So she's very clear that just the numbers will not do anything. It is the quality of members which would really deliver goods. So this is something which Mr. Sriram also used to say in the questions answers meeting in the convention. It is not the quantity which matters. It is the quality of membership which matters. In fact, we have a lodge where the members are about 450, but monthly one meeting is taking place, not even 10 gather. So this is not the real work of the society by adding members in quantity. So this is what she has said. And she says, the London Lodge has two options before it. The London Lodge of the Theosophical Society has two options before it. It should become a society studying practical occultism, because they have an inner group also started by Master KH. The London Lodge has two options open. It should become a society studying practical occultism, or otherwise just be a fashionable society or fashionable body in the garb of the Theosophical Society. This is what she is saying. It is not just like any other association of people, but it is an association of people who are working or studying the practical occultism. They are supposed to do that. And the inner group, which was formed at the instance of Master KH, failed to do a lot of work. The inner group failed to do a lot of work due to lack of proper direction, and the president of the London Lodge left the society. So you, meaning AP Sinnet, did not take active role and did not participate in the work with enthusiasm or interest. This is what she's telling Mr. Sinnet. She says, heart and head of wisdom have to be preserved. Heart and head of the wisdom have to be preserved. Theosophy and the Theosophical Society have to be preserved. That's what it meant. Otherwise, the whole society will fail. This is what she is saying. Unless you keep them spirit alive, it may not be there. HBB says, the branches are not to be praised or lauded because they are appearing as schools of morality, wisdom, and benevolence. She is telling Mr. Sinnet, it is not just the work of the lodges to be appearing as schools of morality, wisdom, and benevolence. HBB says, outside world looks at the branches and its work in that particular light of morality, wisdom, and benevolence. That's not the purpose of the Theosophical Society. The public, they do not take notice of pretensions. The public do not take notice of pretensions. We have a lot of people, a lot of members who pretend to be members. They are not really members. This is what she's observing. What is important is what members do and not what members speak. This is even relevant today. So what Madam Blavatsky is saying, what is important is what members do and not what members speak. So this is very, very, very true even today, because the work will speak for itself. We don't have to speak about brotherhood, but be brotherly. That's perhaps the message there. Except you, meaning Sinnet, there are not many good workers in the London Lodge. Except you, there are not many good workers in the London Lodge. Even you cared more for establishing the worldly society. You also cared more to establish the worldly society, the society which caters to the needs of the world outside, which is the reason why the London Lodge did not work well, and the London Lodge members have not proved effective. And the London Lodge members acted more to satisfy their personal aspirations. So you use the lodge or use the premises for the personal or satisfying the personal aspirations. HBB is saying to Mr. Sinnet, what are all the steps to be taken to revitalize the London Lodge? She's saying, what are all the steps one has to take to revitalize the London Lodge? She says, actually sending Mr. Mohini Chatterjee to London Lodge was to breathe life into the Lord's work. He initially worked well. Did not continue his good work as he fell prey to flattery and got distracted by other things. This is what Madam Blavatsky is saying. Mohini M. Chatterjee was an accepted chela. He was sent to London Lodge to breathe life into the London Lodge, but then he did work in the beginning, but then later on, he did not continue his good work, and he fell prey to flattery and the attention he got from members and got distracted. So his work did not yield good results, says Madam Blavatsky. So this is the problem we have. And so what needs to be done is to revitalize and see that the work of the lodge or the society takes proper direction. So HPB says, working for the Theosophical Society, working for the London Lodge of the Theosophical Society is of paramount importance. HPB says to Mr. Sinnet, your attitude of being reserved and the pride you have made you a passive member. Your attitude of being reserved and the pride you have made you a passive member rather than an active member of London Lodge. Only active members of London Lodge can save the London Lodge and the Theosophical Society. The evil effects of Dugpa world came from America, Madam Blavatsky says. The evil effects of the Dugpa world came from America, says Madam Blavatsky. AP Sinnet invited and encouraged Mrs. Laura Holloway, and she was perhaps a bit of a clairvoyant, so he encouraged her. And the devotion and earnestness towards the master suffered in the process because he was concentrating on taking care of Mrs. Holloway. He did not pay the usual attention he used to pay and the devotion which he used to have towards the master. The earnestness also was missing. This is what Madam Blavatsky is saying. And the Dukpa element succeeded due to the belief you had in that Mrs. Holloway. And the opposite camp, who have sent Mrs. Holloway, wielded destructive power. HP was referring to Mrs. Holloway's method of working. And she says, Madam Blavatsky says, the opposite camp were determined to destroy the Theosophical Society. And for which perhaps this gentleman, Sinnet, also helped directly or indirectly. So this is what she is telling Mr. Sinnet. HPB says to Mr. Sinnet, you were misguided, and till today, you are not able to distinguish between falsity and the truth. HPB says to Mr. Sinnet, you are misguided, and till today, you are not able to distinguish between the falsity and the truth. So this is the problem of Mr. Sinnet. What the inner group really requires, what it could have done, what the inner group really requires is for members to have intuition and to possess pure element of love and devotion to truth and to the masters, and to have faith in the masters. This is what the inner group should have. Maybe the inner group was perhaps something related or something akin to the EST which we have now. So she's saying the inner group really requires its members to have intuition and to possess pure element of love and devotion to truth and to have faith in the masters. This is possible only in the absence of false sense of individuality and selfishness. So if these two are absent, if people have a false sense of individuality and selfishness, then the inner group will not succeed. So that should not be there, is what Madam Blavatsky is telling Mr. Sinnet. Only then, only in the absence of those two, absence of false sense of individuality and selfishness, only then the inner group can succeed and it will have a purpose. This is what Madam Blavatsky is telling Mr. Sinnet. Otherwise, it's as good as closed. The person in charge of the inner group, it is written as Oriental group there, is not caring for masters, as she is caring more for the chelas. That means Mohini and Babaji. She was caring more for them. The person in charge of the Oriental group, the inner group, is not caring for masters, as she is caring more for the chelas. Madam says, we don't have any member who is devoted to the cause of theosophy or masters in the London Lodge. At that point of time, Madam Blavatsky is saying we don't have any members in the London Lodge who are devoted to the cause of theosophy or to the masters or whatever. They don't seem to be having any program whatsoever. All have been tried and all have failed. They have failed to succeed, says Madam Blavatsky. HPB says, if one is passive, one will not gain anything or will lose everything. HPB says, if one is passive, one will not gain anything or will lose nothing. They may neither get something or nor lose or gain anything. So it will be a futile effort. So being passive doesn't work at all. For being a passive person, if somebody is passive in his approach to the membership, a lot of karma will accrue to his account and he will slide backwards on the path. If somebody is passive in his approach to the membership, a lot of karma will accrue and that person will slide backwards on the path he's trying to climb. This is what Madam is saying. HPB says to Mr. Sinnet that you lacked the blessed self-confidence of Mr. Alcott. HPB is saying Alcott was self-confident and you seem to be lacking that. So AP Sinnet has been told that you are lacking that self-confidence, blessed self-confidence, that most important self-confidence of Mr. Alcott, and the ability to face the enemy boldly by showing one's cheek. This is something which Mr. Alcott did, I believe. So she's saying you don't even have the ability to face the enemy boldly by showing one's cheek, and if it gets punched, you don't have that courage to show your cheek, and then if you have the courage, then the enemy will flee. He will run away. This is not what you seem to be having. This is what she is telling Mr. Sinnet. Madam Blavatsky is saying, though the total members of the London Lodge are only 7 or so, one should not give an impression to the outside world that we are very few. We should give a feeling that we are many by getting into a lot of activity and not allow anybody to guess our real number. We should bring out number of pamphlets, hold convocations, and give other proofs to show the society has not been shaken. This is what somebody has to do. Maybe the numbers have dwindled, but you should not give the clue of that to the outside world. And you should bring out a lot of pamphlets, hold convocations, and give other proofs of lectures, etc., to show the society has not been shaken. The blows of the enemy camp, have not been felt, is the impression the member should give to the outside world. The blows of the enemy camp have not been felt is the impression the member should give or show to the outsiders or outside world. Then, if that takes place, the higher powers then would help and no disasters would befall on the members of the lodges. HVB says, we shall keep the forces active. HVB is telling Mr. Sinnet, we shall keep the forces active and working and not think of recommencing the work by suspending the work. It's not the done thing. You close down the lodge and then try to recommence or restart the lodge on a later date. So don't do that. Suspending and recommencing is not done, she says. So HPB is saying to Sinnet, nothing can kill the London Lodge except passivity, people not being interested in the work. HPB says to Sinnet, nothing can kill the London Lodge except passivity. No smashing disasters then will affect the Theosophical Society if people are active, not passive. And members should develop the spiritual discernment is what the members have to develop. That is, spiritual insight is what the members should develop. This is what she is asking Mr. Sinnet to address the members. And not to work on the physical field or to show that we are a society working for certain moral, ethical things. Of course, yes, ethics and moral do count, but then it is not just for that. We are there for much bigger purpose. That's what Madam Blavatsky is trying to impress. It is not to work on the physical field for recognition or for show off. HPB is asking Mr. Sinnet that he is not in a mood to give lectures and addresses to members. And so she suggests you work underground, you be in the background and work. You don't have to be very active, but then be in the background or underground and work tirelessly for the Theosophical Society or the London Lodge. It is best you can do, but do not in silence or remains in silence. Don't be in a silent mode. Don't get back to that mode of silence. Be active. This is what she is asking Mr. Sinnet. Don't kill the society and your aspirations with your own hands, advises Madam Blavatsky. Don't kill the society and your aspirations with your own hands. This is what Madam Blavatsky is telling Mr. Sinnet. Not all the members of the London Lodge are capable speakers, not necessary too. Not all the members of the London Lodge are capable speakers. It is very lucky that everybody doesn't speak, she says. See, everybody speaks, there can only be confusion. That's what she's telling. So it is very lucky that everybody doesn't speak. Otherwise, it will be a babble, confused noise. That is what it will be. So it's nice that everybody is not speaking. Everybody is not a capable speaker. That's good in a way, he says. Those who are wise and capable have to share it with others. Those who are wise, capable, have to share the wisdom with others. Make the most of the opportunities before you. Don't turn your face away from opportunities. All these are all perhaps statements which are advice which is being given to Mr. Sinnet. But if you see that carefully, maybe yes, we know how to work in our lodge. Make the most of the opportunities before you. Don't turn your face away from opportunities. The London Lodge will shine if demoralization is kept away. The London Lodge will shine if demoralization is kept away. If members are sincere and hold the flame of theosophy, masters and powers that be will guide the members to occult, psychic, theosophy. She says two of the masters are already there bodily helping the society, and the great white brotherhood, the order, and other brothers, other elder brothers would watch and definitely teach us and guide us in the work of the Theosophical Society. Their teachings are like precious stones. Their teachings, the master's teachings, are like precious stones and are available to those who are not lost in the elusive world. If you're lost in illusion, the teachings are not there for you. So you're not able to recognize the teaching. So she says the teachings are like precious stones, and those who are not lost in the elusive world will be able to understand the teachings. The members should also be able to give a deaf ear to the public rumors. This is something which she is telling. The members should be able to give a deaf ear to the public rumors. HPB finally tells Mr. Sinnet to arouse his intuitions. Intuition. That's more important than living by the head. Live by the heart and see what can be done at the Buddhic level. HPB assumes AP Sinnet that she will keep him in all, help him in all possible ways. HPB assures Mr. Sinnet that she will help him in all possible ways. HPB says Sinnet, being passive, is not receptive and is preventing the help to reach him. So if someone is not actively open to the ideas which are coming, if he is passive, if he is not active, then the help which is coming will not reach him. This is what she is telling Mr. Sinnet. Finally, HPB says, recognize my words and try recognizing foreign words which you should not hear or avoid. Foreign words are those words which are coming the Dukpa world, from the Dukpa world. So finally, HPB says, recognize my words or even master's words when you get to listen to them, and try recognizing the foreign words which you should avoid, which are coming from the Dukpa world. This is letter number 141. And then we'll move towards letter number 139, which is in fact a continuation of 141. Again written by Madame Blavatsky to Mr. Sinnet. HPB is still at Wurzburg, Germany. HPB begins this letter where she has left the last letter saying, you develop intuition. She's continuing with that. She's asking Sinnet to be intuitive and try and have that faculty which would help him. HPB says to Sinnet that he has partly succeeded. HPB says to Mr. Sinnet that he has partly succeeded. AP Sinnet felt that one page or so of this letter has been dictated by Master KH. So that extent of guessing which has been done by Mr. Sinnet is right. So she is assuring the Master KH has done it with a spirit of unalloyed spirit of kindness, sympathy, and appreciation which the Master has for Mr. Sinnet. That's why he has dictated those lines and should not be recognized as object criticism. Mr. Sinnet felt it was criticism. Madame Blavatsky says it is not criticism. The Master KH has done it, has dictated those lines with an unalloyed spirit of kindness, sympathy, and appreciation which the Master has for Sinnet. HPB says, though she wrote down the sentences as dictated by Master KH, she doesn't remember even one sentence or even one line correctly. she has done it rather mechanically. HPB says she has read the letter before closing the letter. Even then, HPB says that she doesn't believe the letter had even a semblance or a shadow of criticism. So Sinnet has not been criticized. On the other hand, it was appreciated by Master KH, which for some reason Mr. Sinnet is feeling that it is more of criticism. HPB says at the time the Countess walked into her room, HPB says when she was writing this letter, the Countess Watchmaster walked into the room and read the letter which you have written, that is, Sinnet has written, wherein Sinnet has remarked that he is one amongst the persons who suspected that the higher powers, meaning masters, do not wish that the society should live any longer. This is what she is telling, that the letter was read over to her by Countess Watchmaster, who walked into the room as she was writing the letter, and she said, this is what Mr. Sinnet is also believing, that he is one amongst those who suspected that the higher powers, meaning the masters and above, they do not wish that the society should live any longer. And from your side, you felt it is not worth trying to make the society live long. This is again another thought of Mr. Sinnet at that point of time. It's not worth trying to make the society live long. HPB says she saw at her writing desk the master's words, which were, now write, pray, meaning commence writing a letter to Mr. Sinnet. Pray means in right earnest, I'm asking you, pray. Normally you use this language in the court. So master has used this language. Now write, pray. So I heard these words which were dictated, as said earlier, rather mechanically, yet saw the thoughts and feelings of the master. HPV was saying that the master was showing so much of kindness and genuine feeling for Mr. Sinnet, and there was absolutely no criticism or disapproval of Sinnet's actions. At that time, the society facing a lot of problems thanks to the Kulim controversy, they did not want to lose Mr. Sinnet, who was perhaps one of the powerful members of the London Lodge. HPP says to Mr. Sinnet, don't misunderstand and be ungrateful to the master. HPP is asking Mr. Sinnet, don't misunderstand and be ungrateful to the master. Open your inner core of your heart and don't look or observe all this with external eyes. Don't look with an external eyes, but apply false reasoning to understand or judge the master. So this is what we do. Sometimes we have false reasoning to understand others. So she is telling, don't look at with the external eyes, means ordinary eyes, which we normally use, and apply false reasoning to understand and judge the master. Madam Blavatsky says, Countess Watchmaster also is well disposed towards you. She is sympathetic and appreciates your work along with me. HPB is saying she saw or could see Mahatma's aura. She gives details. The yellow-grayish streaks were directed at Mr. Alcott, towards Mohini and Finch. Reddish streaks were there. Yellow signifies intellect and red signifies pride and anger. Blue signifies devotion. The streaks of blue were directed towards the portrait of Mr. Sinnet. HBB says to Mr. Sinnet, it is due to your karma that you are brought close to Mrs. Laura Holloway, who actually misguided you at that time. HBB says, Master has not criticized or disapproved your action even then, because Mr. Sinnet recommended whether Mrs. Holloway can be a medium through which the letters can reach him. So that was what they were also trying to see whether she will fit into the role of a medium. And they found after trying that she was not good enough for that. So shall we stop here? I think 6:45 is the time in my watch. Tell me, madam, if there is 5 minutes more. Otherwise, I'll stop here.
Sir, we can continue for a few more minutes. It is 6:42 by my watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
HVB talks about Mrs. Laura Holloway getting drawn towards her was also due to your karma, says Madam Blavatsky to Sinnet. And Mrs. Holloway has done you 10 times more harm than the society. HVB says Mrs. Holloway has done you personally, means Sinnet, 10 times more harm than to the society. And HVB is now talking about two chelas, Mohini and Babaji, living both at that point of time in Europe, along with Madam Blavatsky. HVB cautions Mr. Sinnet that he should act independently of them, not to depend on them because they are chelas, not to depend on them because they have gone astray. Work as though they don't exist, says Madam Blavatsky. And HVB is asking Mr. Sinnet, write to Mr. Arthur Gebhard a serious letter to collaborate with what me and Countess have written to him, not to allow the chelas to come to America. Because they're trying to go to America by befriending some Americans. So Madam Blavatsky is asking whether he can do that by writing to Arthur Gebhard. These two have written, but to corroborate and to add weight to the request they have made, whether Sinnet can also put in a word to see that these two don't reach America. HVB says she wouldn't mind sacrificing herself to weed the poisonous vegetations from the society. Madam Blavatsky says she wouldn't mind sacrificing herself to weed away the poisonous vegetations from the society. HVB is asking APS to work independently, avoiding all those two, Babaji and Mohini Chatterjee, who are presently not working for the society. So there was a mention about the Princess Hall meeting that was held on 21st July 1884, where the farewell was given to the founders when they were moving to India. Mr. Sinnet could not avoid attending the meeting because Master KH wanted him to attend that meeting, but he was not enthusiastic. He was not very impressed. He did not talk anything positive in that meeting. So people who spoke also did not prepare well. The addresses were not aimed at defending the Theosophical Society. With proper efforts from the members, the meeting could have been more successful, says Madam Blavatsky. We'll stop here because there is a couple of more points. So the time is up and almost nearing 6:50, if I'm right.
Right. Thank you, sir. So I request Sister Meenakshi ji to give us the translation in Hindi now.
सभी को नमस्ते और थैंक यू ब्रदर कृष्णा जी, क्रोनोलॉजिकल लेटर नंबर 140 में 140 यह पत्र HPB सीनेट को लिखती है। वे सीनेट से कहती है कि मेरे नाम के अलावा मुझे मैडम मेट्रोविच या अन्य कोई नाम देना झूठ है। लेकिन यह सब मुझे अज्ञात रहने में और नाम बदलने से नफरत है, ऐसा वे कहती है। आगे वे कहती है कि मैंने अपनी मौसी और बहन को आपका पता यानी सीनेट का पता दिया है। सभी पत्र मैडम ब्लेवेट्स्की के लिए आपके नाम से मिलेंगे। हालांकि मुझे पत्र मिलने से या न मिलने से कोई वास्ता नहीं है। रूसी अखबारों में मेरी प्रशंसा और महिमा में एक लंबा लेख छपा है जिसमें मुझे इंग्लैंड का शहीद कहा गया है। आगे वे कहती है कि आह बेचारा इंग्लैंड और मूर्ख अविचारी वे हैं जो थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी का विनाश करना चाहते हैं। आप कहते हैं कि हम बेसहाय लंदन थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं। तो मैडम ब्लेवेट्स्की कहती है कि थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी की फ्रांस और जर्मन की शाखाएं लगभग मृतवत है और आने वाले समय में लंदन ब्रांच को पुनर्जीवित किया जा सकता है। और वे कहती है कि 2-3 सदस्य भी इसके लिए काफी है। मैडम ब्लेवेट्स्की कहती है सीनेट से कि अपने अंतःकरण की आवाज सुने अगर और प्रयत्न करें। पिछले 2 सालों में डुप्पाओं द्वारा उठाई गई भयंकर लहरें कैसे थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी के चारों ओर उमड़ रही है और उस पर भयंकर रूप से प्रहार कर रही है, इसे आप देख रहे हैं। अगर सोसाइटी के संस्थापक और उसकी शाखाओं के संस्थापकों और प्रेसिडेंट्स ने कभी इस तथ्य को ध्यान में रखा होता कि हमें सदस्यों की संख्या की नहीं बल्कि गुणवत्ता की आवश्यकता है, तो सोसाइटी को सफल बनाने के लिए आधे अधिक आपदाओं से बचाया जा सकता था। लंदन लॉज के समक्ष 2 मार्ग थे, जैसे कि किसी भी अन्य शाखा के सामने होते हैं। एक मार्ग आत्मविद्या का अध्ययन का मार्ग था, करने वाली आत्मविद्या का अध्ययन करने वाली गुप्त सोसाइटी के संगठन करने का था, और दूसरा मार्ग एक सर्वसाधारण और शिष्टाचार पसंद सोसाइटी का गठन करना था। आपने हमेशा दूसरे वाले को प्राथमिकता दी है। आपको इनर ग्रुप बनाने का मौका दिया गया था, आपने इस पर जोर नहीं दिया और नाम मात्र के अध्यक्ष पर इसका निर्णय छोड़ दिया, जो इसके लिए सक्षम नहीं था और जिसने इसे बिगाड़ दिया और फिर उसे छोड़ दिया। आगे वे कहती है कि नैतिकता, ज्ञान और परोपकारिता की शैक्षणिक संस्था के रूप में सोसाइटी और उसकी शाखाओं की सराहना करना पर्याप्त नहीं है, क्योंकि बाहरी दुनिया हमेशा उन्हें उनके दावों से नहीं बल्कि उनके कार्यों से उनका मूल्यांकन करेगी। लंदन ब्रांच को हमेशा कुशल कार्यकर्ताओं की आवश्यकता थी, और जैसा कि सभी संगठनों में होता है, काम बहुत कम लोगों पर आ गया। उन कुछ लोगों में से केवल एक अपने उद्देश्य पर दृढ़ था, जिसने उसे अडिगता से पूरा किया। वह व्यक्ति आप स्वयं हैं। आगे वे कहती है कि मोहिनी को इंग्लैंड भेजा गया और उसने पहले सदस्यों के दिल जीते और लंदन लॉज में नवजीवन लाया। वह पुरुष और स्त्रियों के अति प्रशंसा से, सतत की चिकनी चुपड़ी बातों से और अपनी स्वयं की कमजोरी से बिगड़ गया था। आपके अलगत्वपन और गर्व ने आपको निष्क्रिय सदस्य बना दिया, जब आपको सक्रिय सदस्य होना चाहिए था। डुप्पाओ द्वारा सबसे पहली धमाकेदार व्यक्ति अमेरिका से आई ने लॉरा हॉलोवे। आपने उसका स्वागत किया और उसे बढ़ावा दिया। एक समय बुराई की यानी डुप्पा एलिमेंट की विजय हुई, क्योंकि आपने उस व्यक्ति पर विश्वास किया था जिसे सोसाइटी के विनाश के लिए विरोधी शक्तियों द्वारा भेजा गया था। आज तक आप यह कह नहीं सकते कि क्या सच था क्या झूठ। प्रेम और सत्य के एकमात्र शुद्ध तत्व के प्रति समर्पित होना चाहिए, चाहे वह समर्पितता अमूर्त हो या मास्टर्स के प्रति हो। एक खरे इनर ग्रुप से इसका तात्पर्य है द ओरिएंटल ग्रुप एक पाखंड साबित हुआ और मिस ए मास्टर से ज्यादा चेलों की परवाह करती है। वह इस बात से अनजान है कि जो लोग मास्टर्स थियोसॉफी और उसके उद्देश्य के प्रति सबसे ज्यादा समर्पित थे और वे सोचते हैं कि अब भी वे हैं, वे ही सबसे ज्यादा परखे गए हैं। मिस ए की भी परीक्षा हो रही है, यह उनकी आखिरी परीक्षा है। इससे वह अनजान है और ऐसा लगता है कि वह इसमें सफल नहीं हो पाएगी। जो भी निष्क्रिय रहेगा वह कुछ नहीं खोएगा, लेकिन जब यह परीक्षा काल खत्म होगा तो उसमें यानी उन सदस्यों में कुछ भी वृद्धि नहीं होगी। वह अपने कर्म के कारण उस पद पर आहिस्ता से फिसल सकता है जिस पर उसने आरोहण करना शुरू किया था। आप में ओलकॉट के आत्मविश्वास की और साहस की कमी है, ऐसा मास्टर सीनेट से एचपीपी सीनेट से कहती है। यदि लंदन लॉज में केवल 6 सदस्य हैं, अध्यक्ष को लेकर 7वें सदस्य, और जो और आप जो साहसी रक्षक जैसे शत्रु का सामना शांति से करते हैं, उस शत्रु को यह न जानने दे कि आप कितने सदस्य हैं, और पैम्पलेट, सम्मेलनों और अन्य विशिष्ट प्रमाणों के जरिए अधिकाधिक सदस्य हैं ऐसा दर्शाते हैं कि सोसाइटी कायम है, कि उसने प्रहारों के सामने घुटने नहीं टेके हैं, कि वह निडरता से शत्रु का सामना करती है, तब आप जल्द ही विजयी होंगे। यह सब आसानी से हासिल किया जा सकता है और कोई भी विनाशकारी आपदा इस पर असर नहीं करेगी यदि इसके सदस्यों में यह जानने के लिए पर्याप्त अंतर्बोध हो कि उच्च शक्तियां यानी महात्मा वास्तव में क्या चाहते हैं, वे क्या रोक सकते हैं या क्या नहीं रोक सकते। विवेक बुद्धि की सबसे अधिक आवश्यकता है। सोसाइटी में यानी लंदन लॉज में जो कुछ भी बचा है उसे बचाना इतना महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है, बल्कि भविष्य में किसी समय इस आंदोलन को पुनः शुरू करने का सवाल है, ऐसा आप कहते हैं। यह आपकी नीति घातक है। इस नीति को अपनाने से आने वाले समय में आप लंदन लॉज को हिमालय पर्वतों से परे आश्रमों से जोड़ने वाले हर एक अदृश्य लेकिन महत्वपूर्ण शक्तिशाली कड़ी को तोड़ देंगे। लंदन लॉज को निष्क्रियता के अलावा कोई खत्म नहीं कर सकता। आप जान ले कि आपने यह कबूल किया था कि अभी आपका लेक्चर देने का कोई इरादा नहीं है। अगर आप सोसाइटी को और अपनी आकांक्षाओं को स्वयं खत्म करना नहीं चाहते, तब गुप्त रूप से कार्य करें, चुप रहकर नहीं। लंदन लॉज में सब कोई वक्ता नहीं है और यह अच्छा ही है, नहीं तो कोलाहल होता। सभी कोई ज्ञानी नहीं है, लेकिन जो ज्ञानी है उन्हें अपना ज्ञान बाकी सदस्यों के साथ साझा करना चाहिए। कार्य पूर्ति के लिए सबको एक सूत्र में लाए। आपकी गतिविधियों को आपको मिले अवसरों के अनुरूप बनाए और अवसरों से मुंह न फेरें, उन अवसरों से भी नहीं जिन्हें आपके लिए निर्माण किए गए हैं। आगे एचपीबी कहती है कि सिद्ध संघ की शिक्षाएं मौल्यवान रत्नों जैसी है, जिस और मुड़े प्रकाश और सत्य और सौंदर्य बिखेरती है, और वे उनकी खोज कर रहे थके हुए यात्री को मार्गदर्शन करेंगे यदि वह यात्री मायावी दुनिया के छलावे में बहक नहीं जाता और अफवाहों के प्रति उदासीन रहता है। कृपा करके हो सके तो अब आपकी अंतर्बोध को जागरूक करने की कोशिश करें। मैं तुम्हारे लिए दुखी हूँ और तुम्हारी मदद करने के लिए कुछ भी करूंगी। अगला पत्र है क्रोनोलॉजिकल लेटर नंबर 141। इस पत्र को सिस्टर सुषमा जी ने ट्रांसलेट किया था, उसे मैं प्रस्तुत कर रही हूँ। HPV सिनेट से कहती है कि मैंने अपने पत्र में आपसे कहा था कि कृपया प्रयास करें और अंतर्बोध प्राप्त करें। आप सफल हुए, लेकिन केवल एक भाग में। आपको लगा कि उस पत्र का 1 या 2 पृष्ठ मुझे मास्टर केज द्वारा लिखवाए गए थे। आपके प्रति शुद्ध दयालुता, सहानुभूति और आदर भाव से मास्टर केज ने उन कुछ वाक्यों को लिखवाया था। आपने उसे आलोचना के रूप में लिया। मैं मास्टर के निर्देशानुसार लिख रही थी। इस अस्पष्ट स्मृति के अलावा मुझे एक भी पंक्ति ठीक से याद नहीं थी। यद्यपि मैंने पत्र को बंद करने से पूर्व उसे ध्यान से पढ़ा था। इस पत्र को मुझे सौंपते समय महात्मा के विचार में या व्यक्तिगत रूप से आपके विरुद्ध आलोचना का कोई भी भाव या छाया नहीं थी। मैं आपको पत्र लिख रही थी, तभी काउंटेस आई और उन्होंने आपके पत्र में से वे निराशाजनक पंक्तियां मुझे पढ़कर सुनाई, जिसमें आपने लिखा था कि आपको संदेह है कि मास्टर्स नहीं चाहते कि सोसाइटी अब भी जारी रहे और इसके लिए प्रयास करना व्यर्थ है। HPP कहती है कि मैंने महात्मा की प्रतिछाया को मेज पर देखा और उनके शब्द सुने। अब प्रे लिखे। मैंने बोले गए शब्दों को यांत्रिक रूप से सुना, लेकिन मैं जानती हूँ कि मैंने उनके विचार और भाव प्रकाश के औरा को ध्यान से और गहन रुचि के साथ देखा। आप कृतघ्न न बने, गलत न समझे, अपने दिल की भावना को पूर्ण रूप से देखें। आप अपनी सांसारिक दृष्टि एवं सहानुभूतिहीन चश्मे से न आके पत्र के बारे में काउंटेस से पूछे। जब मैंने उन्हें पत्र के विषय में बताया, तब तो वे खुश हुई, क्योंकि वे आपसे सहानुभूति रखती है एवं आपकी सराहना करती है, जैसा कि मैं करती हूँ। आगे HPB कहती है कि मैंने महात्मा की आभा देखी। पीली भूरी धारियां ऑलकोट के लिए थी, मोहिनी फिंच के लिए अधिक लाल रंग की थी और अन्य लोगों के लिए भी थी, जिनका मैं नाम नहीं लूंगी। आपके पूर्ण आकार के चित्र पर नीले रूपहले प्रकाश की प्रचंड धारा बरस रही थी। आगे मास्टर HPB कहती है कि होलोवे ने सोसाइटी को जो क्षति पहुंचाई है, उससे 10 गुना आपको नुकसान पहुंचाया है। अब चेलों के विषय में बात करते हैं, ऐसा HPB कहती है, और जो अधिक गंभीर प्रश्न है। दोनों में से कोई मूर्ख नहीं है, मगर वे अभी तक नहीं जानते कि उनके और मास्टर के बीच प्रतिदिन खाई चौड़ी होती जा रही है। मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप आर्थर गेबार्ड को एक गंभीर पत्र लिखे और बोवाजी के बारे में वह सब बताए जो आप जानते हैं। थैंक यू। नमस्ते।
Thank you, Meenakshi ji. And now we welcome any questions or discussions from the participant.
Krishna sir. Are you there?
Yes, he's there, but he's, yeah.
Sir, you have to unmute. Krishna sir.
Yes.
Yes.
It's open.
Sir, yeah, we can listen. Yeah, we can. Even though this letter has been written by HPB to Sinnet, it seems that she has written to all of us because
Yes,
so
very
the
right.
quality is more important than quantity. As you said, there are lodges where the quantity there are 100 members. When the meeting comes, hardly 10 people attend.
Very
And if there is quality members in a society, even if it is 5 members, nobody can spoil a society. So quality is more important.
Yeah. She said in one place, 3 people dedicated are good enough. 3 people dedicated are good enough. So What it means is one who is dedicated to the cause of theosophy, one who is absolutely interested in spreading the message of theosophy or live the contents of theosophy is the person who is expected to be a member, because she has written in the key to theosophy also what exactly one has to do, what the member has to do. So all this goes to prove that she is telling all of us that don't strive for just the numbers. 2000 members have a federation. What is the good use if none of them really have any inkling as to what tea is in theosophy? Theosophy is a word, they don't know even tea. They don't have the early history, nothing. But they simply are there because, and they don't come to the launch meetings, they don't address, they don't listen. So all these are adverse situations which are there even now. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you. These letters really inspire us to work still more.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Yeah, yes. Thank you.
In fact, any letter written by the master to Mr. Sinnet also, there are a lot of sentences which are actually meant to us. And it looks like, yes, the letter is going to Sinnet. But then there is a lot of messages there are which are worth following, worth understanding, and take that very seriously in our life. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any more questions? So in these letters, we see mostly there is a lot of description about the members of that time and how they were, with what motivation they were working and impacting other members and also the society. So Master, time and again in many letters, he has mentioned that don't be deceived by appearances.
Yeah.
That is what we have to understand. And one very important statement in the previous letter you have read, sir, I'm just going to read that again. The statement which mentions love and devotion to the truth, whether abstract or concreted in the masters, in which no element of individuality or selfishness would enter. So that,
Right.
I think, is a very important takeaway from this letter.
Very, very true. Very true. If people are striving for the recognition, individuality, or they're appearing very selfish in their approach to work or for anything, that is not what is required. You have to work for the objects of the TS and really work for coming together in the real sense of the term. Perhaps that's most important. Not everybody should speak, not everybody should lecture, is also something which Madam Blavatsky is telling Mr. Sinnet. Not everybody is trained to be perhaps a speaker. Even Sri Ram used to say, if the Nana Yajna has to succeed, there should be a couple of people who speak and at least 100 people to listen. Only then the Yajna will succeed. So that's exactly what we are all trying to do. Nothing wrong in everybody tries to speak, but there is another place where she says it's not the words which are more important, but actually actions which are important. It's not the words. What we speak is not important. What we act is more important. I think that conveys a lot of message, a lot of import in that message.
Right.
Sir, one more thing. She also tells being passive also does not help the society.
Yes, yes. Very true. Very true. What is the point? If somebody is acting like a doormat in a lodge, doormat is there in the lodge. Suppose you are something very similar to that, not really active, not taking good role as a listener or as a contributor, then you are also not practicing the principles of perhaps those three objects of brotherhood, universal brotherhood and all that. What good it is if you are still there. So that's perhaps being passive is not really being interested, but I'm there because somebody asked me to join. That's where I'm there. I'm not really interested in working for the real sense of the objects of the society. That's very important. Working for the objects and working for the cause of theosophy and help the society to become stronger through our actions, not through our words. Words are there, but more than that is the actions. Actions speak louder than words, is what Madam Anubis had said.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So if there are no more questions, then we can conclude today's meeting. Thank you very much, sir. And we'll conclude it by the closing prayer. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Sarvesham Swastirabhavatu Sarvesham Shantirabhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Thank you all for joining.